The roar of the crowd still echoes in my ears, but tonight, it's drowned out by the screech of tires on wet asphalt, a sound that no highlight reel can capture. Imagine this, Reece Walsh, the Broncos' bolt of lightning, the kid who turns defenders into ghosts with a flick of his hips, hurtling down a Brisbane backroad at dusk, his mind replaying that game-winning try against the Panthers. One wrong swerve, a shadow in the rain, and bam, metal twists like a bad pass, glass shatters like a dropped trophy, and the man who electrified Lang Park lies broken, his pulse fading under flashing blue lights. Was it a freak storm? A ghost from his past? Or something far darker lurking in the shadows of his meteoric rise? Hold on tight, because this isn't just an accident, it's a nightmare unraveling the heart of Aussie Rugby League, and what comes next will leave you breathless. If that gut punch has you hooked, hit subscribe and drop a like right now. Join the Aussie Sports Central crew for raw, unfiltered tales that hit harder than a Walsh sidestep. Your support fuels the fire. Let's dive deeper. Reece Walsh wasn't born to be a star, he was forged in the furnace of Logan, Queensland, where footy fields double as battlegrounds and dreams get tackled before they can stand. At 22, he'd already etched his name into Broncos lore, that blistering 80-meter sprint in the 2023 finals, leaving Roosters defenders grasping at smoke, or the cheeky no-look pass that sealed a comeback against the Eels. Off the field, he was the golden boy, tattoos telling stories of family loyalty, a smile that lit up sponsor ads, whispers of state of origin glory on the horizon. But beneath the glamour, cracks simmered. Late-night training sessions bleeding into dawn, the weight of a debutante's pressure cooker, rumors of a rocky split from his longtime partner that tabloids sniffed at like blood in the water. That fateful evening, September 26, 2025, he was gunning for home after a solo gym grind, radio blasting old-school AC/DC to shake off the fatigue. The road curved like a sly defender, rain sheeting down in biblical fury. Witnesses later swore they saw his Uta fishtail, headlights cutting through the downpour like desperate spotlights. Then, the impact, a semi-trailer emerging from the mist, its horn a futile wail. Reece's world flipped, literally, as the vehicles locked in a deadly tango. Paramedics pried him free, his Broncos jersey soaked in crimson, but as they loaded him onto the chopper bound for Princess Alexandra Hospital, one question hung heavier than the storm clouds: who was the shadowy figure spotted fleeing the truck's cab? A hit and run, or something orchestrated from the league's underbelly? His vitals flickered like a dying stadium light, teammates flooding the ER waiting room, fists clenched, prayers muttered. Billy Slater, his Origin mentor, arrived pale as a ghost, gripping Reece's mum's hand. Hours ticked by in agonizing limbo, surgeons battling internal bleeding. Shattered femur, a concussion that could steal his edge forever. Just when hope sparked with the beep of a stabilizing monitor, a nurse burst in with a phone, an anonymous tip line call, voice distorted, claiming the crash was no accident. Sabotage? Jealous rival? Or a ghost from Reece's street kid days catching up? The room froze, and in that silence, the Broncos' empire teetered on the brink of collapse. But wait, twist the knife deeper. As dawn broke over Brisbane, Reece stirred in his ICU bed, eyes fluttering open to a haze of beeps and blurred faces. The docs called it a miracle, his mum wept, calling it divine intervention from the footy gods. Teammates piled in, pain house towering like a wall of muscle, cracking jokes to mask the fear, while coach Anthony Seibold paced, plotting a comeback narrative for the ages. Reece, bandaged and broken but unbroken in spirit, rasped out his first words: "Not done yet, boys." The league erupted, fans lighting up socials with #WalshWarrior, petitions flooding for a tribute match, even the PM tweeting solidarity from Canberra. Yet, as the adulation swelled, shadows lengthened. Detectives swarmed the crash site, unearthing a chilling anomaly: brake marks that didn't match the semi's logs, a discarded burner phone in the ditch etched with a single contact, Reece's own number. Paranoia gripped the club. Was it an inside job, a disgruntled agent cashing in on his rising stock? Reece's phone records painted a frantic picture: late-night calls to an unknown Brisbane number, tied to underground betting rings that had soured on his golden touch. Flashback to weeks prior, a shady tipster warning him of fixed odds, threats veiled as advice. He'd brushed it off, too focused on the field, but now, as he gripped the bed rail, vowing revenge through rehab, a bombshell dropped. Hospital security footage caught a familiar face in the visitor log, his ex-partner's brother, a known enforcer for a South Side crew, slipping in under false pretenses. Motive? A bitter custody feud twisted into payback? Or deeper still, a league-wide scandal bubbling up from the scum? Reece's eyes hardened. This wasn't just survival, it was war. The Broncos rallied, but as training resumed without their spark, whispers spread, could they hold the line without him? And what if the next shadow struck not on the road, but in the locker room? The truth clawed closer, but one revelation would shatter everything. Smash subscribe to Aussie Sports Central, don't miss the fallout as this saga explodes. In the weeks that followed, Reece Walsh became a phoenix in bandages, his hospital room a war council buzzing with physios, shrinks, and undercover cops. The media circus descended like locusts, headlines screaming tragic twist in Broncos nightmare, paparazzi scaling fences for a glimpse of the warrior's grit. He pushed through agony, leg in a cage of steel pins, mind replaying the crash in nightmarish loops, the truck's grill looming like a predator's maw, the jolt that stole his breath. Teammates rotated shifts, sharing stories of his clutch plays to stoke the fire, that 2024 Grand Final sealer where he'd outrun the clock itself. But privately, doubt gnawed, would the speed return, or would scars linger like ghosts on the turf? The investigation cracked wide open on a humid October morning. Forensics linked the burner phone to a crooked bookie with ties to rival clubs, his ledger stained with bets against Reece's stardom. Motive crystallized, a syndicate furious over his clean image tanking their rigged parleys. The ex's brother? A pawn, coerced with threats to his own kin. Raids hit Melbourne dens, arrests rippling through the league like a bad bounce. Reece, wheeled into a presser, mic in hand, dropped the hammer. This ends with me back on that field, faster, fiercer. The crowd erupted, but surprise lurked in the wings. Leaked emails revealed Seibold knew of the threats, buried them to protect the season. Betrayal stung deeper than any hit. Reece confronted his coach in a heated huddle, words flying like fists. Forgiveness? Or fracture? As preseason loomed, Reece hit the gym, sweat mingling with resolve, his first sprint a defiant roar against the odds. Fans chanted his name at charity galas, the Broncos unbreakable anew. Yet, in the quiet hours, he stared at the ceiling, wondering, was the real accident the one that exposed the rot in his world? The final whistle hadn't blown, one last shadow waited in the try line, ready to blindside them all.